Welcome everyone to the budget workshop for 2022-2023. This is an informal meeting, more of a workshop to discuss the upcoming budget that is due March 31st this year. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So, I don't know, should we do a roll call? Mike Nicely is absent. Yeah, no, it's not formal. So tonight, thank you guys for all attending. So I'm kind of following last year, we've done this a few years, so I'm following kind of the same format. We have our finance manager Heidi here, as well as Eric and the department, if you guys have any specific questions. So I'll begin.
Could you talk into the mic? I can't hear you very well.
Okay, I'm afraid to touch it. Does it sound better? Or,
The volume up a little bit, maybe?
or do I put a roller close? Okay, so I'd like to welcome everyone.
That's better.
And we'll begin now. So as I said, I'd like to introduce Heidi as our finance manager and Eric Mann, been working with our budget here. So let's see how I get this going. Okay, so tonight the board has been provided the preliminary governmental funds budget per state law, which was sent out December 1st. You'll be provided the enterprise funds. I have here in March. I actually think I can present it. I'm shooting for next Wednesday to give it to you guys so you guys have more time to look at it. The purpose of today is to obtain feedback to allow the finance team to complete the budget for all the funds. Today we will focus on overall goals to ensure that we're on the right track for the upcoming year. And this is not a review of actual figures. That occurs in the official March hearing when we vote, but we will be giving you the numbers, obviously, for the different items. We will also identify certain strategic non-dollar initiatives as well. So our goals, of course, is to maintain the overall millage rates, which we've been doing for many years, maintain our AAA plus bond rating, and also the hot item, of course, is our land. We have that coming up next month, the 33 acres in the industrial park that'll be going out to bid. So these are the generic public improvement revolving fund. So these are the upcoming projects. We've had Powell Road to pave from, we call it phase 2, be from 30.5 to 32 mile. We met with the road commission. That looks like that'll be next year. We were really trying to get that done this year, so we have that down for next year. I put 28 mile. I'm getting a lot of residents are asking for that road to be paved. I put discussion of, I put that down as a year 2 item right now, just for us to discuss if, we'll see. Yeah, that Shaner to kind of, before Romeo, where the borderline is, kind of. 30 mile, the project for this year is the 30 mile road from Mound to Kildare. I put down 1 million right now. That's the proposed amount we would put with the share program with the county, and the developer is committed to 1 million as well. It's a $3 million project. So right now, Mike Kozak's working out the designs with that and to get that as a permitted road to get that done. I added, these two are also things to think about, to have 31 mile road paved. Once Powell Road is paved next year from 30.5 to 32 to possibly pave Van Dyke to Powell from 31. That's an estimated at 1.2. And then 31 miles actually paved. The east side and the west side, it's the middle part from Sisson to Hidden Oaks is unpaved. So I put that down as a year 2 to keep that on the radar if there's interest to do that. Our sidewalk program, we got that started this year. And we actually got a couple things going out to be out to bid now, but I'd like to renew that for the one. I have a slide on this now. We'll discuss more, but to continue the $1 million. Hopefully, we could do this as a 5-year program, and keep the gaps going for the next 5 years. The next item, we addressed this, I've brought it up a few years, and we talked to the road commission to pave Shaner from 26 to 27.
Good idea.
That would hopefully alleviate some traffic from Jewel and Van Dyke. Again, that can't be done this year, so I've requested hopefully next year will be put on the docket to get that done. This next item, people either love it or hate it, it's the limestone. I kept it on right now because Rich, our DPW, can talk better about it than me, but we're supposed to pick different dirt roads to apply this at. Every time Rich gives them a suggestion, they deny it, they keep limestoning the same road. So you're getting this compact of roads that the mailboxes are actually sinking because the road's building up in the dust. So my suggestion right now is to leave it on. If they allow us to pick the roads that need it, I would say it's a good program. If they don't allow us to pick the roads, then I would say to not do it this upcoming year and skip it here.
Can I ask a
Yeah,
question on that? Rich?
Yeah.
We've heard some comments come out of one of the board meetings that some of the residents were complaining because, just what the supervisor said, the road's starting to build up. Is it possible that those roads can be, instead of being limestone, be graded and then still put the salt on top of it to try to keep the dust down?
Part of their program is to grade it. They have two graders at the 31 Mile Road yard there, so they're always out. You know, when they don't do limestone, they're grading all the time in the winter.
Really?
Yeah. That's part of their job.
So is there any way to try to minimize the amount of limestone we're putting on to keep the buildup from?
Boy, we tried, you know, I mean, we can talk to the maintenance foreman again, or the guy in charge. It seems like every year, you know,
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
you're not going to tell me how to do it. Then we end up trying to help people out to get them out of their drives.
Yeah.
We'll try it again, but the main thing is, like Sam said, we pick the street, right, Bonnie? And no, we pick a street. Now, they got different reasons, but.
Okay.
I was made a suggestion, you know, we're spending that money, if we don't do limestones, could we possibly use that money for the dust control on the ones, because after our meeting, I drove those couple roads,
Yeah.
and it was horrendous, the amount of white powder in a car going 25 miles an hour over in that area, so.
You know, they still, even if you don't do the limestone, they still have to go out and fix the road anyways.
Right.
So, just so you know that. If they don't dump limestone on a mile of road, they still have to come, you know, at the intersections where, you know, you always get that washboard, they're always out doing that. So that's part of their thing. Yeah, they do it all the time.
Well, and we had such a wet year, and we still had a lot of complaints of dust, so I can't imagine in a dry year.
Before we continue anymore,
Yeah.
is there a reason why none of us got a copy of this? I mean, I would like to be taking notes on it myself.
Yeah, I mean, I worked on it up until now, I'm sorry, but I'll
Okay.
email it to you guys, of course. That's not, I mean, none of this is,
All right.
sorry, I'm sorry. The time just got away. The next item is the municipal hall remodel. We've had this also for a few years. This is part of our bond money. So we actually got a preliminary drawing, and I was actually blown away, like the way they actually utilized the space more proper, I guess I should say. So I'd like to call them in to do a presentation, you guys, but I actually would like you guys to go see the place. So maybe we could set up a couple times, 2 of you or 3 of you go and look at it, and just to see if it's something we want to pursue or not.
What are we talking about?
To basically remodel the township hall to make
This
more
hall?
space. Yeah.
Okay.
We become over cram, and then COVID issues don't help it, obviously. And we're running out of conference rooms. It's like we'll dig into that a little bit more with another option as well, but.
Excuse me, Sam, so
Yeah.
so we'll have, within that plan, like, we'll be able to have a board table again, kind of get things tightened up a little bit more again?
Yeah, I mean, try to clean up, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it back to normal.
Yeah,
normalcy.
where are they at that we would go see
They're
them?
at 16 in John R., this
it's not
company,
far.
so it's not,
Over in
yeah, no,
Troy.
it's not.
Sure.
The reason I would like you to go there is because it's just, they have these beautiful boardrooms that they showed in 3D, and it's just amazing, like, we wouldn't do it justice on what we have to
Okay.
kind of show it, but even if we don't go with it, at least maybe it gets our wheels spinning in a certain way. The next thing, we've left this on a few years as well. I put the cemetery to put a proper drive there and other cleanup. I also put maybe possibly discuss plot prices, since I still feel like the plot prices are very, even a little too reasonable. Like, once we do sell out, there's no more income, and we've got a lot of maintenance, so I don't know if that's something we could visit.
What do we charge for a lot currently, do you know?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know how much we charge for a lot?
What is it, 350 or?
It's 300 for the lot, and then there's the charges.
And then the
Services that go.
dig it out and then put it
Yeah.
in and cover and all that.
And,
300 is very reasonable.
yeah, it's very,
Very reasonable.
But, you know, some people,
I mean, I'm not trying to,
Let's not-
whatever, but we do have maintenance costs that'll obviously last a lifetime.
I said, don't talk about this too much, because too many people are going to come buy all the lots, so,
Sorry.
move on.
I left this on it, but technically that's on this, this fiscal year is the West Road project, so, which was around 750 we spent, so,
you don't anticipate any overruns on that?
hopefully not.
Because I know there was talk that some of
Yeah,
the
about the
board members
intersections.
mentioned about taking it over Mound Road so that hump gets away. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
why
they're
I'm
looking at it.
saying.
Yeah. No, yeah, yeah. Oh, wait,
You don't have a priority on that one.
how do I go
Reason?
back? Let's see here.
Let's see, back arrow. Over on the.
Oh, perfect.
You
I
don't
guess
have
it won't let me
priority
make,
number on that?
it won't let me edit it.
We can write a note and then just amend.
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
you know.
So, yeah, no, we can do that. I kept the 26-mile road bridge near the roundabout. I left it at 250 because it looks pretty good that we'll get the grant, but we have to put a minimum of 20%, and like, to all of our surprise, it looks like $1 million project. So I figured 250 on that.
And that's with the install and the painting, Sam? 'Cause I
Yeah,
know we
everything,
We were
yeah.
given, you know, several prices, and then we kind of had to bucket them together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's roughly $1 million project, yeah.
Okay?
I mean, that's, yeah, everything. And so hopefully we'll get news on that early this spring. The next item, I just left it out there. It's a density yield review. I feel like being we're doing the master plan, this may be something we could look at this spring to go along with our master plan, to compare the density compared to our master plan, in case we want to do any altering.
A little off subject, but we're going to get some more of those going so that Pat can get going on this with the residents. And
Yeah, exactly, so they can do more studies and
yeah.
just to see how it goes. I made this slide just to show the upcoming developments that are coming up this year. We have these several that are in developmental stage and some starting, I can list some of them. Powell Ridge, Seven Lakes is adding another section. There's Viridian, Wood Duck off of 31. Autumn Park here, they're starting their phase 2 and 3. And then the recently Clifton Corners. And then the other ones on the
Hey, Sam?
right-hand side.
Sam, most of the residents know about Clifton Corners, but where are the other ones? Because a lot of
Yeah. So
people don't know.
Powell Ridge is, okay.
Thank you.
Powell Ridge is on Jewel Road next to the 9th grade academy there by the high school. And actually, Powell Ridge will end up being 2 phases, correct? They've done the 1 phase, they're doing the second
Yes.
phase? Yeah, 2 phases.
Yes.
Seven Lakes is at between 31 and 32 on Mound. They'll be building towards the southern part, towards 31. Viridian is over there with 26 and Hayes. Wood Duck is a small court of 4 or 5 lots. That's off of 31 west of Mound. And Autumn Park, phase 2 and 3, that's over here at the split, the Van Dyke and Utica split. Oh, Van Dyke and Campground split. Sorry. The ones on the right-hand side, these are all subdivisions that are, there's either a handful of lots left or a lot of lots left. Some of them are different phases. Bradbury has a phase 3 now. Glacier Club has their last phase that they have a few lots left. Hidden Oaks has some lots. So Autumn Park phase 1 is being developed right now. So despite COVID and a lot of the shutdown, we look like we're going to hit the 170 units that we've forecasted for this year. Here I put some of the upcoming development that more of a commercial side. Just recently, this is kind of hot off the oven, I guess. Culver's Chicken will be coming in towards where the Romeo Rock used to be at the old Kmart location out there. We're still waiting for the Meyer outlot there with the smoothie and the Andiamo. That should be pretty soon. The Karen property, we're bringing water up that area, so there's, they have a proposed use of a mixed use of condos, homes, and some commercial on 32 Mile. The Myers on 32 Mile, which was approved back in 16, they're pushing that out to either 23 or 24. Currently, they're building the one at 24 in Hayes, so their concentration's on that one right now.
Sam, can you just elaborate? I was going to say, can you elaborate on what we're being told is what that Myers is going to be? It's not going to be the conventional Myers that we have right here at 26?
Yeah, Myers is now building smaller Myers. They're not the traditional, really big Myers. They're more into the outlots. So they're proposing a little bit smaller Meyer with obviously the gas station and several outlets. So there was that phase when supermarkets were getting bigger. Now they're going back to getting smaller. People are, I guess, doing more shipped and that kind of stuff. So, and I think Myers has changed their, I guess, marketing. They make more money, obviously, in the outlots than they do in the actual stores. Even at this Meyer at 26, they keep proposing an outlot building still in that parking lot. So we'll see what happens with that if they still try to. Our industrial park, the interior roads being put in the spring, and we have Alta Equipment, one of the first developments going in there, and of course we got property going out to bid. I put our sidewalk master plan, obviously is a big deal. We have Capital Point office. That's the new building being built by Michelangelo next to Santino's up there on Van Dyke. The Vanessa Center, that's finally completed. That's going to become a daycare center. Van Dyke Retail, that's going to be next to this medical building just south of us. They're going to put a restaurant and 2 offices there. The Leo's Coney Island that we're long awaiting for, that's, what is that, just north of 30, I think.
I want to be at that ribbon cutting.
Huh?
I want to be at that ribbon cutting.
Yeah,
I
me
want to
too.
see the island.
Me too. I'm waiting for Leo's.
30 in Van Dyke?
Is that Vanessa?
Yeah, I know, 30 in Van Dyke, though?
Yeah.
That's just north, or is it, oh no, it's across the street, yeah. It's in front of that,
Vista Springs.
Dental.
Vista Springs, yeah. The McDonald's rebuild is supposedly going to happen this spring or early summer. They're just lining up their contractors right now. We had both Orchard Ridge Church and Woodside Churches near completion built this year. Altair senior units, those will be built over there at 26 in Beaconsfield. They've dropped off the plans. I call it the Pizza Nostalgia Land. That's for sale right now. It's near 26 off of Van Dyke, next to that old White House.
Okay.
North of the Rite Aid.
So I've seen pending sale and not pending sale every day, so it's on the radar. Somebody's looking at it. The strip mall at K-Blocks, that got a reface, a new sidewalk in front, so that's exciting on the upper end, the northern part of our town. We have the new dental building as well that got put up there, what's it called, North Point? North, yeah. And then we have another development in front of the cement factory. They bought that land. They've knocked down the one home. They're going to knock down another home. They got a concept for a drive-through and a couple small restaurants and offices there as well. So it's exciting. Yeah, so I mean, we'll be building the Village District with more restaurants.
Are these all ones that are approved already, or in
Some are
planning, or-
just it's still early. Some
We
are.
got a check mark that we want to do this, right, on some of them?
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, some of them still have to do the formalities between planning or ZBA issues as well. McDonald's obviously got approved. That's more of a contractor issue. They're lining up all their trades and stuff. I just wanted to go over the building department again. We're going to estimate, again, another 175 permits this year. We've been going at a constant pace to help expedite and make the jobs a little bit, I guess, easier for our clerks there in the building department. This past year, we started accepting payments online for some of the permits. We also created a generic email, so now emails will be spread not just to one person, to the whole department, so response rates are quicker and faster to those. And then just the other day, I sent them to another township to work on starting to put more fillable forms online, so it helps the builder to expedite things more online and less running back and forth. They can do more stuff online, and it'll just feed right into our BSNA software and speed up the process. I'm also having them all kind of cross-train to be able to help each other when one person is out. And then not just in the building department, but all the departments, I want to try to get BSNA in here. That's our software we use from accounting to all the program management for all the departments, and try to see if there's more modules in there to help them work more, I guess, more efficiently, to speed up their time. They all work hard. I'm not saying that. It's just, it's better to work smarter than harder. So, I mean, I'm sure there's things they can pick up. Or we also, in the building department, field inspectors have tablets, so I'm trying to force them to start using these tablets instead of the old paper forms, and those will get fed right into the computer system instead of them retyping the paper
We bought
forms.
those last year.
So that'll help speed up the process from the paper forms. Emergency services. Sorry, I got to take a drink of water. This year we got the new ambulance remount, but I know they're still working on it, right? Or it's not finished. But and we approved the new fire truck just at our last meeting. So now for the upcoming year, I've been calling it phase 1, phase 2. We'd like to start the new fire station at 30 and Powell. We're estimating that at a $3 million price tag. So in our budget, we'll show half of it in this fiscal year and the other half in the next year, because we're assuming it'll take about a year to build. Phase 2 would be the new training center, which we would build. That's a win-win in my eyes. Hopefully we'll get that funded by grants, and then it will also generate income as well. So that'll kind of pay for itself. And then I just put the side note that Station 4, we do have the land secured. As this past year, we bought land on 31 Mile between Campground and Mound, and the potential of putting a park next to it. In continuing emergency services, I think it was right before Christmas we renewed our 3-year contract, and that also included the high school liaison with the Macomb County Sheriff's Department. For this upcoming year, obviously, I would like to continue the police liaison at the high school. My other thing is, as we build the new fire station, I'd like to propose that we use the free space at Fire Station 1 to relocate the deputies from Fire Station 1, because Fire Station 1 is now becoming outgrown a little bit with the amount, so it would give them more of a central location in our town and give them more space to do reports and allow residents to go there as well and fill out any reports they have instead of going to the fire department as well.
And we'll have a cost analysis on that and what it would.
Yeah, no, we'll work, yeah. And then I didn't put it down, but it would be a new polling location. It would help stand out.
Possibly, yeah.
These two, I'm actually gonna present these at our next meeting. I'm gonna have the sheriff, our sheriff liaison is gonna present these, but the number one complaint I get on a daily basis is speeding in the township. The funny thing is when you look at our monthly reports, the traffic is going down, but the service calls are going up. And that's because the deputies are spending their times on service calls and they're missing all the speeders, basically. So a lot of the other towns now are hiring a traffic enforcement officer, and this person will be just dedicated to speeders and traffic control. It could be also with the school, like in the morning we have traffic control in front of the elementary to help traffic expedite, but the minute they get a call, they leave. They're not dedicated to that. The the good thing with this is they're offering, if we're interested, we wouldn't have to sign a contract. We could try it out for 6 months or a year. If we don't like it, we can get rid of it. The part I like about it is they'll give us obviously monthly reports. They'll show, we would actually obviously generate an income from the tickets that we would get. But I'm not really looking for ticket money. I'm just hoping people would obviously monitor the traffic. The neat part about this is we would actually get our own deputy car that's outfitted with the Washington Township name and logo. So that guy or lady would be dedicated here full-time. The other thing, I thought this was interesting, and I think it would help not only the traffic, but also our roads. They have another program, it's called the Motor Carrier, it's a weight control. They actually monitor all these traffic haulers, and we have like a good 80 running down Mound Road, just on the gravel haulers. And obviously, we're not monitoring their weights, so Mound Road to me, is deteriorating pretty fast. So they actually have the same thing. If we would be interested, we could try it out for 6 months or a year. Not just there, but even they could be parked on M53 and they would get all those, anything from construction workers with, hauling equipment with rocks falling out, hitting windshields, or automotive shipping parts that overweight. And these cars also come outfitted with scales and everything. And these tickets are really high priced, so they obviously kind of pays for itself as well. But he's going to be doing a presentation at our next meeting, so it's something to think about. If anything, I think the traffic enforcement would be worth the investment, just to see if it would, get residents to start calming down with the speeding around town. DPW, these are the water and sewer projects. So we have the Powell Road from 31 to 32. This will be more of an interior road. It would be between, Powell and Van Dyke. This line would go straight up to the future Meyer. Currently, right now, we're bringing, what is it, the next meeting or two, we should be bringing it out to bid, but we're going to be bringing water up Powell Road to 32, across 32. So it'll protect the northern part there from annexation, and then this line will connect to it basically from the middle.
It looks like most of those projects are going to come out of the water and sewer fund, except the one bond one for $4 million, 4.9, right?
Yeah, I have, the current project that's, let's see which one.
What was the question?
No, he was asking about the bond money. I know the water loop that we're going to bring up, Powell, that's under the bond.
Right.
The Meyer one, that'll come out of the water and sewer fund.
Plus, we'll recoup some of that money once they tap into.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. I put the water on 31 Mile. This is from Sisson to Mound. As you can remember, the residents really came out. They were against it. We've been taking a look at it. We're thinking of working it in three different segments. We have certain segments that the residents are okay with it. Other segments, we'll be coming back to the board. We think we found a solution to it to move the one line. So the idea is hopefully within the next year and a half, we'll have that water across 31 Mile. And that's why I put years 1 and 2 there. 28 Mile to Mount Vernon. This will be the water loop that we'll be doing from Mound Road from 28 to Mount Vernon back up to Inwood to make the loop. Next Monday, we'll be doing a town hall on that for any residents in that area that are interested, or anyone that's interested. It's an open meeting. We've been doing the meter change out every year. We do 200 a year. That's cost $90,000. We've been doing this new hydrant maintenance program. They've been going around town, basically fixing up the,
Sandblasting the hydrants
Sandblasting it, yeah.
and priming them and painting them.
Yeah. So, and it's, that's been going really good. I'll get to this in the next slide, but the proposed new DPW building, I put that as $3 million to be split between water and sewer funds for the next 2 years, to split it over the 2 years. Again, the Jewel Road lift station, I think we need to keep that on the radar if that should fail. That's a $2 million price tag. And then also the Deep Jewel, the road sewer as well, that's another $1 million. We're still doing that SCADA system upgrade, that's $50,000 a year. We do that sewer manhole replacement, that's $250,000 a year.
Could you explain what that SCADA system upgrade is?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Mike, we just keep 50,000 there in case any equipment goes out that we have, that we need for it, and other items for it. We don't usually use it all, but we have to have something there for it, for jiggies and stuff that go out.
Basically repair and maintenance.
Yeah, correct.
we're doing, we call it the GLWA interconnect with Romeo at 32 Mile, and basically, I don't know if it's in 2 years or 3 years, there's a huge 96-inch water main that goes through the county. They're going to be shutting down this at different portions to do repair and different maintenance items. So we have to do a connect. We have a connect with Shelby. This will be a connect with Romeo. So in case there's a need for water, we can mutual aid each other with water.
So Romeo's has signed that agreement?
Yeah, so we're hopefully in the next week or two, both attorneys are looking. We got Siebert and their attorney looking.
Yeah, we're right there with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we're getting the green
Quite
light.
a few years.
Got to have the agreement before we do anything.
Yeah, without
so.
the agreement, you can't do anything.
It actually hurts Romeo more than it hurts Washington because it would shut down their industrial park for 8 weeks without water. So it's a win for them more than it is a win for us. It's more.
And Bruce. Huh? And Bruce.
Yeah, and well, obviously Bruce because they're the next town north. Yeah. A 30 Mile and Powell water main connector. We got that at 289. That has to do with new. Part of that industrial park.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's the water main going in with the internal road.
For the internal road covering it. And then we have the Powell Road Water 31 to 32 Mile Loop. That's the $2 million next year. We still have that Autumn Creek pump station that we're pretty close to getting that out to bid as well. That's at 500. And then I guess you can explain the towers again. Sorry. That's at 28 Mile. I was between Shaner and Jewel. Or yeah, it's at the entrance. It's at the entrance of the subdivision's called Autumn Creek, so it's right outside there. Yeah. During that massive rainstorm, the water just rose really high at that. You know. The next item is 3 towers. They're called the Neptune AMI Tower. You can explain it again. I know we were talking.
Yeah, now that we're getting a little bit more installed,
That's for the signal.
we need certain areas that we have some dead zones
Yeah.
that we're going to have to pick up on.
Okay. So those are the major big points there. Just to continue with DPW, this year we put a new roof at the old DPW station there on 30 Mile, just west of Van Dyke there. We did order 2 new trucks there, and hopefully we're going to be getting them a scanner, hopefully before our end of our fiscal year. The idea is to hopefully start digitizing a lot of these prints and stop with our basement is loaded with paper, so we're trying to get it more digitized if we can. And we're bugging Mike Kozak for a lot of prints.
Excuse me, did we ever receive the pickup truck that was approved in 2020 for DPW?
Which one?
We're up to date right now, except for the ones that you okayed the other day.
Well, there was one that was approved for purchase in 2020.
I'm
That
sure.
was fire department.
Pardon?
Fire
No,
department.
that was a pickup truck for DPW.
Yeah, that one came.
That one did come? That's all
Yeah,
I'm
no,
asking.
The other thing I've been talking to Rich about, like, obviously you saw the proposed projects, but I don't know if now's the time to start thinking of a 5-year program for DPW to make it a full functional DPW with, start purchasing lawn equipment, snow plows, start doing things more in-house than having it more, out to vendors. And not to obviously buy everything all at once, maybe start buying some smaller equipment the upcoming year, and whether it be chainsaws or, I don't know what you would call them, tree trimmers and that kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah, I mean, in 5 years, is the way instead of me telling you every time on the phone, I can't cut the tree, I can't go pick this up, I can't do that. It's all part of a DPW's. So either we start moving into the bigger scene slow.
Yeah. And which leads me to the proposal of the new DPW building. The main thing is to store all the equipment indoors. All our equipment is outdoors. It takes the guys, especially with this kind of weather, time to heat up the equipment, clear the equipment. I keep putting safety issues if somebody goes there and just maliciously either breaks the equipment or anything, it's all sitting out there. I put this picture, this is one of our bore machine, but like this has to be stored inside, and then this one here, this is our new vac truck. We just bought it at the end of last year, I should say. This one carries, 2,000 gallons of water, you said?
Yeah, that's what.
And so this has to be stored inside too, obviously, especially in this weather. And it's obviously a huge truck. We'll be presenting this to the board too. The idea is to build a new 26,000 square foot building. The big portion here on this side would be like a large barn. It's similar to what Shelby and Macomb Township have. This would be where you would store all the vehicles. Very big. And then this would be the office area for them. And we've even included a drive-through. People could drive through and pay their water bills without getting out of the car. But this would secure all the equipment. It would keep it dry. It would be safe housing. And it would free up our building with less. We could send the DPW back to their own home building.
Okay,
And
so what's the maintenance stuff that we want to start taking in-house?
Yeah.
Have the costs been looked at and budgeted for the additional personnel that's going to run that lawn maintenance?
Yeah, I mean, this is all, we're going to work it all out, yeah.
Okay.
And
So we have numbers put together for that to back
We're starting
that up.
to. And then the other thing, I didn't realize, every subdivision that has lighting, we have to store those extra light poles. And so we have buildings at the 30 mile that are just holding up all these extra poles, I guess you call them. I mean, it's just things you wouldn't think of. And I was thinking the original DPW building could still be used more for maintenance, lawn care, snow, and then this could be more the bigger type work. And this building would get us to the next 100 years. I mean, I think obviously it's big enough to handle, but as I said, we would grow. As the department grows, obviously, we would fill this building.
And just to
But we'll get you-
reiterate that
Oh, and it could be
this is
another precinct for you too.
another precinct, no.
No, I'm joking.
But it's on land that we currently own, which would be over by the water treatment center, which
Yeah, I mean,
some of
the
land's
idea is-
difficult to develop as well
Yeah.
because of the drain and everything else in there, but
Yeah. The idea is we have that land next to our wastewater treatment plant. Nobody really wants it. We own it. So it'd be a perfect spot for them, and they have to monitor the wastewater treatment plant, so they'd be right there. It's kind of a win-win there. Again, we'll be
And
showing
it doesn't smell out there anymore.
We'll be getting covers for the. It's funny, they all said it didn't smell. The minute I said I wanted to put the building there, they started complaining of the smell. So it's like, I wanted to touch on our sidewalk master plan. We're proposing to continue that for like a 5-year sidewalk master plan. We're starting to get some movement, as I said, on Mound and West Road. We got the easements there. We're also connecting the spots between Powell Ridge to the high school. We'll be connecting that area. The idea is $1 million per year. Mostly the concentration will be along Van Dyke. And again, I listed the bridge at 26, which is obviously in review for the grant. Currently, it's obviously a hot topic. So currently it's at the Planning Commission. We're looking at, the idea is to Whether or not they're going to get sidewalks, the idea is to hopefully that all new homes will sign over the easement, so we have it in our back pocket in the future if we ever do decide to put sidewalks. The easement's the hardest part of putting sidewalks in. And then the PC is also looking at possibly removing certain sections or not. So we're waiting to see on that.
So what's the direction of that map? I can't tell from here. Where's
I
north,
just
south?
think, I just include, but all this in green along Van Dyke
Up is
is
north.
kind of,
So up there where I see the red and the green, that's 32 Mile?
yeah, this is 32, yeah.
So all the proposed sidewalk is from 32 on over? What you're telling me?
Yeah,
Because I'm not seeing.
I put this map more for a visual, it's not.
Huh?
This map is more for a visual, it's not the identical.
Oh, it's not accurate?
No, I'm sorry. I did it just to show, but the majority is all here along Van Dyke, all the gaps and some of the mile roads and,
Okay.
26,
All right.
sorry.
I was concerned when all I saw was down at 32, 31.
no, sorry.
Wait a minute.
I was running out of time and I needed a map. I picked them. Yeah, good observation. The other thing I'd like us to work on is, nobody knows we exist, obviously. We're that town between this town and that town, so I'm kind of hoping, Mike Kozak's working out some things, but I'd like to work on better signage in our town, possibly better signage at the DPW buildings, and locations. Our Welcome to Washington Township, it'd be nice to have those redone with the logo. Update our village district. I kind of like these little downtown areas have these like wayfinding ways to find different things.
Maybe an update.
I'd like on M53, it'd be nice to have a Welcome to Washington at the overpass bridge kind of thing. And then I did it last year. I don't know, I like to call it adopt a spot, but Marinos stood up and they volunteered to take care of the parking lot there, all the landscaping. It'd kind of be nice if all the welcomes sections, either landscapers or families, they would volunteer and we could put a little 3x3 sign saying donated by so-and-so, or just an idea, and give a little community feel that, and it also keeps up that corner spot as well.
Is it possible to work with the county on M53 or on the state rather on M53?
Yeah, that would be what
To
the
get a couple of the signs that say Washington instead
Yeah.
of Romeo, you know?
No, exactly. I mean, all we have is, what does it say, Washington District or something it says on the expressway? It says
I
something,
don't even see it.
something like that, or next exit, but I just think it'd be nice to have something there. I mean, ideally, I'd like it on the bridge, but yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, as
It'd be
you're coming
like-
in on the freeway right there, where's Washington Township?
Yeah, no, yeah. But I know, like, a big thing of mine was to have a sign behind the board, but it's in the other room, but we put the Washington, and
A lot of good
we
that.
try to put it on the pedestal. We closed the wall now, so you don't see it. But anyway, so I think this would be kind of exciting to have some of this in town, and especially as we build up this village district, I think it would be cool to have some of these signs. Other items to discuss, I just put a list, let me just click them all.
One page?
Yeah. These are just things that, obviously, just to keep in the back of our head. COVID exists or not exists, depending who you ask. But even though that, we still have delays between vendors, our different contractors. I mean, every day we're always hit with this, or whether it's staff or vendors or anything for that matter. So we're still dealing with that. Our GFL contract will be up this year, September 1st. So I know Stan's already starting to work with that with Seabird to get the paperwork ready.
When do you think we'll have that to the board?
Just got to go through and review it. Yeah, latest by April, we want to
Yeah.
have it out.
I'd rather have a few
better.
months, to breathe through.
Or just with the budget and everything else we got going, there's enough to think about, let alone try to go through that.
I know we're still working on updating the master plan. I left it up, we've said it like this a few years. We've done the sewer study, but I don't know if it's something worthwhile to do a master plan option A if the sewer should ever come here, or option B, just forget that the sewer will ever come and keep it the way it is. I know Candace Miller's office is really trying to bring sewer up to the north end here, but it's a very high expensive price tag. So as we work on our master plan, we'll still discuss that. We still continue to drive the state on the environmental concerns we have on some of the old landmines on Mound. We're still proposing to process 175 homes in the upcoming year. I put cemeteries again, the destruction of plots, large trees, plot cost, something to think about in the upcoming year. With the new census, we now have new districts, not only statewide, but also in our township, which puts more cost on the elections for Stan. And so the residents you may have been a precinct 3, you might end up becoming precinct 4 or vice versa type thing.
Will Romeo Community Schools allow us to start using their schools as polling sites?
So
like we do
we've
in other
had,
communities?
we've had some preliminary discussions with them. They were going to be a backup because polling sites 6 and 11, they were going to be moving up to Orchard Ridge. Orchard Ridge stepped up, but my backup was Croswell Schools. We're still got to go out there and do it, but they were going to be a backup if we needed to. Still have to have further discussion with the schools regarding anything farther. Again, because of all the crisis, especially more recently in Oxford, a lot of sensitivity of bringing people into schools and things of that nature. And again, contracts and how they're there, not there, all play in effect, but there's been preliminary contacts with the schools. Otherwise, we'll use the DPW and the old fire
DPW.
station to add.
I put under personnel, I'd like to explore co-op possibilities, see if there's any potential with that. If rather than, sometimes it's just a special project, maybe we could get a co-op in here to help out on certain projects, and it gives them some learning
Yeah,
experience.
so the other day, Mr. Bustino came in from the Romeo High School, saw Sam, and then came over and talked to us, and they had a student that was highly interested in doing this, going into law. She followed up and sent her resume and everything today, so we reached out to her and said, hey, what days are you available to come meet? Come talk, see what her schedule is like when we meet. They have 2 different types of plans in their academy. I don't know the specific name, but there is one where basically they would get out of school for the times that they were supposed to be going to that class. So let's say it's a Tuesday, Thursday class for 3 hours. Instead of going to class, they could be actually coming here and working and doing work experience. Right now, we're sort of exploring maybe a couple hours a day, 3-4 days a week to come in and learn some of the things going on, especially with the amount of elections that are going on, getting them to understand some of that. So hopefully that'll help them when they put their resume together, which again was a junior who provided a resume. So they're taking steps and doing the extra things to show these kids to differentiate your sense. You don't just fill out a job application. You need a resume and show all the other things that you've done. So the student seems to be on paper right now, an outstanding. Her name's Naomi. Hopefully we can get her to come start doing that internship program. And I'm suggesting we do have some sort of pay for that, not just a free internship, because they're taking time and going to be spending time here doing jobs that we do. But it wouldn't be on a full-time or part-time basis. It would be very minimal hours.
And as we hire more employees in that, has there been any consideration to the deaf community, reaching out to them to hire these people? These are people that are way underemployed, living very difficult situations. And I think we could become a leader in the community if we turned around, we started reaching out to the deaf community and saying, hey, we got some jobs here, and we start getting some signers around here, and I mean people who know sign language, and we start promoting that a little bit there and start being a more inclusive township instead of just the 90 or 95% of the residents are here. Let's get 100% of the residents, and let's start offering things for everybody. So maybe if you could kind of consider what we can do for the deaf community.
Yeah, no, that's,
Also, too, sometimes.
we got plenty of work here. No, I'm joking.
Well, sometimes when we hire students, will they end up working full-time for the township, too?
No, yeah, and
Possibility.
that's how kind of we did, I don't know, you can say her name.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, no, yeah.
No, I meant Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
We had, her name's Morgan, but she started out here part-time, and she's doing an outstanding job, and now we've hired her, but she's still part-time, but she's going to college, and
She started in elections, helping us do
she's actually, yeah, she's
things
worked in
and
several departments.
sorting those tasks that you could never get to. So she came and helped do those things. And we saw what a great person she was, and an opportunity came in the assessing department that Patty had spoke about, and dancing around, Mom,
Patty stole
where's
her.
Heidi? Trying to figure out what's going on and how to do it, you know, she's trying to go to college and everything else, and we didn't want to interfere, but, you know, she's a person that would be sought after by many. We're fortunate that we got her. And she's still going to college, still able to work here, so, and then if she likes it well enough, maybe she can progress and move into the accounting position if something opens up
Yeah,
in
no.
the future. Not accounting, excuse me, assessing.
Yeah.
She don't want to work with Heidi.
I put, next year, we'll be needing a new deputy treasurer. Our current deputy treasurer will be retiring next year. Still working on some drainage issues between 27, 28, and Shaner. Our favorite, updating Parks and Rec bylaws. And then I keep this on here, cybersecurity. We're pretty safe. I know Stan's more than me, but we're constantly calling them, and we're doing good, but I still think, obviously, we're doing some upgrades with our security, even in the building and stuff.
And I would even like to even go farther with it at some point of actually having, so we have no one in our facilities that is an IT expert to actually come in, actually meeting with the young man tomorrow again to fill me in, and someone I know I can trust, that he's not going to mislead me. I've coached him and trained him, and he's a local resident that's coming here and talk a little bit to me about what all these things mean. You know, I get constant emails saying there's this new cyber this, there's that. Karen's getting them too. There's AJY7. Okay, I don't know what that means. Now I'm sending it off to Key Technology, taking my time to find out, do we have that? Is it covered? Are we good? So I think that's an area that we have to explore further of, you know, getting someone that works the security and the cybersecurity in this building.
And then,
Just simple things like the door mechanisms.
no.
I'm being told right now that there's a module and something else, and it's like $870. Well, I don't know. I'm just being honest. I don't know what these modules are, if they're going to fix it, not fix it, or you're bringing me 2 dead squirrels and a rat and telling me you brought it. I don't know what you brought in the box. And in that box, is it what you really told me it was? So if we had someone that could look at it to identify what this product is that you're installing, it would probably be very helpful to the township.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Can you speak up there, just for the, there is audience being listened to. Thanks, Brian. Chief?
I apologize, just a fading thought, but what I'd asked if there's been any conversation or thought or vision about adding an HR director for our township. I know I, for one, and I was going to probably tend to speak on behalf of my other department heads, but you know, we're to a point where I think, you know, we should seriously consider an HR director, a subject matter expert on all of that stuff. It's been a tough couple of years leading through a pandemic and, you know, legal and labor law issues and job descriptions, and I can go on and on. But I would just maybe ask that you keep that in the back of your mind as well.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And to piggy up,
Ideally, that's what we were thinking of. We'd like to find someone part-time and then hopefully groom them into a full-time, but I know it's hard to find part-time, so.
and to piggyback off of that, Sam, at the same thing, have a full-time code enforcement officer. Somebody to start going after, all right, all these signs, these people that aren't cleaning up the yard, they got stuff in front of buildings just that shouldn't be there. I mean, just to kind of start, let's clean up this township. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I realize that it's, right now it's on somebody else's plate, but their plate's pretty full.
No, yeah. I do have in the budget to put a part-time person. I'm hoping if we could start out part-time and then the same thing, groom. But, yeah, we could look at it.
Yeah, well,
I know,
Yeah,
I do got to give kudos to Dave, though, because he did clean up that list big time this year.
Yeah, ordinance is pretty much under control, so I'm not sure.
It's more in the summertime, people take advantage of the signs and that kind of stuff, but.
yeah, and somebody who's got,
Especially election.
here's your standard operating procedure, this is what you go after without intervention, without somebody saying, hey, stay away from them, or, we
Yeah, I
want
know.
somebody who's going to go after and do what they need to do without fear of any repercussions because they ticketed this business or that business.
No.
Well, we don't go around looking for trouble either.
Well, sometimes you have to.
You're right, on major things, but not minor things.
No, not on minor, no, but.
You have 10,000 people working
That need to
full-time.
get corrected, they just need to get corrected.
Yeah, and it does.
So I know that these are a lot of like just miscellaneous type things in the back as well. I just put what's next.
Oh, is there some consideration to have a part-time building person for code enforcement?
You just said
That's what we're
that.
just talking about.
Yeah, you just said
Okay.
Different name, same
This
thing.
part of it then.
it. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, no, I made note of it. But basically, the next step, the Finance Committee will update on the government funds for feedback and to finalize the enterprise funds, which, like I said, we're finalizing that now. I think I could actually present it pretty fast to you guys. And the same thing, if you guys want to come in 2 and 2 or 3, well, no, it's got to be 2 and 2. Or maybe Stan could go in one room with 2 of you, and I can go in a room with 2 of you. And you guys can, go through more of the weeds if you want. And anyway, the final approval of both funds will be in March, if we can do it by then. And then usually the last week of March, we do the amendments. That's any of the true-ups we do at the end.
And again, just to
Sam?
add on to the amendments, at this point, what I've overseen is there's nothing that we need to amend at this point. Overall budgets are still within, so.
Pretty good.
It will be just balancing budgets more or less, so.
Okay. So the one thing that maybe we should add a line item for, last year we kind of, we didn't know, right? Is maybe a budget line for trustees, as to if they need something or you guys, if we want to do something. This is something that's never been addressed before in any budget meeting. And due to my not knowing that we didn't have a budget to increase wages or whatever, and to make things right, maybe we should have a line item in there for that. So would you
No,
consider that?
actually you do. Yeah, so that's very easy because you already have a line item, so it'll have,
And then
again, we'll go through more in the details, but yeah, there's money set aside for any classes you want to take, obviously your wages, but yeah, we can go through it and if
Okay,
there's certain.
that would be
things, yeah,
good. This way right here, the public doesn't think that,
I
we know
also-
that we're
I
being
believe
transparent.
It
right?
includes the newsletter as well. The line item for trustees also includes the newsletter, which we have no idea what that amount even is.
What are you talking about? What
The
newsletter?
line item for trustees in the budget includes the newsletter.
What newsletter? Are you talking about the one that
The
gets sent out to
newsletter
water
that
and
the
sewer?
township sends out.
Yeah, with the tax bill and the water.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, I think the line item is actually called Board of Trustees. It's all 7 of us. It's not just trustees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One little project that sort of bothered me through all this time and because of everyone's work schedules that we have, and it goes for PC as well as the zoning boards, picking up board packets. It's not always convenient for them to come after hours, and I
Yeah,
think it's
I
a
was just
little,
gonna say that.
it's a
No,
little ridiculous. We throw things
part
in
of-
boxes out the
Yeah,
front
no,
door and say, pick it up.
Part of this reconstruction, what I'd like to do is, between that front door and that second set of doors, is give you guys a badge, and you guys can come anytime, and when you walk in, it'll be like a locker system, and you guys just, I don't know if it needs to be locked or not, or just,
The second doors
Or
don't
just
lock,
shelves.
Sam. The second doors don't lock.
oh, well, then you
They're
guys can
left
come in and use the bathroom.
Sometimes that might be
We're
useful.
finally somebody.
No, but I'm saying like, basically a little countertop with some shelves, but I thought not only you, but even ZBA and PC, and this way Dana or Patrick, they can put whatever news they got in there, and you guys, if you want to come at 5 in the morning, come at 5 in the morning, whatever.
Sometimes that's our best time to come, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
We have other things on the agenda, and we just do what
But
we
I mean, I figure this way, it's kind of like a little holding cell, and, or we got mail or magazines or whatever it is, it's kind of thing.
Probably a much better idea than thinking
Maybe,
outside the
maybe,
box.
maybe Stan wants to leave you a note. Yeah, a holding cell, that's good. That's good.
We'll add that to the sheriff's things, the trustees holding cell. NPC.
Yeah,
It'll be
nice.
full all the time.
Just don't go in there more than 3 of you at a time. But, anyway, I mean, that was basically the gist of it. I don't know if you want to review a certain slide, or you had other ideas or questions, or I'll email this to you guys in a few minutes whenever we're done here. But I don't know if the fire department had anything they wanted to say, or
I'd like to make a comment.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more of a request than it is a comment. I know in days gone by when we reviewed this budget, one of the things that lingers is the fact that this cover sheet is basically a rolled-up budget, so we don't see the detail that's back behind it. We've made that request before. We haven't seen that. So for this budget year, I'd like to make a formal request that we get the rolled-up cover sheet and the detail that's back behind it, so we can actually see, you know, if there's a township board item in there and it's got $30,000 in it, the detail that actually got to accumulate to that number. Okay?
and that was part of my idea with the 2 and 2, kind of go over it.
Okay, but I mean, a
yeah,
hard
no.
copy would be appropriate, so if you want to, if you can send that out, I don't know, blast it out to everybody, if you got to do it individually, whatever the case may be, but I'm kind of a paper guy. I like to look at the numbers and make notes and everything else as opposed to trying to do it on a
And I
computer
think that would
screen.
help speed up the board meetings.
Yep.
Because while you're explaining something and they're saying, but it's in the budget, but we didn't see the
Yeah,
roll-up,
you
so
wouldn't
Right.
know.
they're having to go into more detail. And if we know this information up front, all right, we're good.
Don't ask the question, right? I agree.
I mean, yeah, I know some of these things, they've been on the budget since I know we were trustees. So it's been, either it's a timing issue or it's,
And I just want to
Lot of
make one
different-
comment, you know, in the past boards have done some great things that help the township get to where it's at, but at the same time, things get neglected. And right now, I feel like we're under fix everything that they didn't do now. And there's a lot of things that happened. Again, we got the business done, we got things done, but there are a lot of things, again, we still are not the personnel level that we are back in, say, 2008. We're getting close, but there's just so many things, and technology changes, and cybersecurities, and you name it. It's hard with the amount of people and the staffing that we have to try to fix everything today. So,
I think when you're in the red as a company, business, whatever, the first thing you concentrate on instead of trying to fix everything is, let's get in the black.
Yep,
Let's
yep.
quit bleeding money. And then, once you get in there, let's get some money in the bank. Then you get to a point where you can start looking at your investments. And I think we're fortunate enough to have been left with a nest egg like that, that we can start
Oh,
looking at
absolutely.
some of these investments. So I'm thankful for that.
but again, like Sam was saying with the vendors and everything, trying to get people to come out to do things, it's forever. I was going to give you an update at the board meeting, but I'll give it here. The windows were supposed to be in January for the cupola out there that he's telling me now won't be till March that they're going to be able to get the windows. So, again, fortunately, water's not falling in and all those things aren't happening that was happening. They did some preventative to stop it, but again, we expected it to be done in March. Now January, now it's not going to happen until March. So,
Still keeping the birds out.
yep.
maybe they'll fix the clock when they're up.
Yeah, that's right.
Do we have money in the budget to fix the clock this
I
year?
don't know.
Dan?
It's been broke for how many years?
I don't
Let's
care.
fix it today.
There's no money in the budget for
You know what,
that.
pull the clock
yes.
out and put a freestanding clock right in
We're
front.
going to put a time, what do they call it, an hourglass up there?
Yeah, you go ahead and pick it up and flip it over every
Now, there'll be a
24
rope
hours.
down here that you pull, like
Yeah, what's an
Igor.
hour? That's your co-op job. Just another comment on cemetery operations. I know I've been involved in a couple of these things and having walked around the cemeteries and things like that, I mean, I wasn't even aware before I wound up on this job that we're responsible for cemeteries. But now I understand that we are. We've only got like, well, it was $60,000 or something like that in there for 69.9 is a request for cemetery operations. I really think that number ought to be bigger. When you walk through these cemeteries and you look at the headstones that are leaning, they're about ready to fall over, some of which have already fallen over, some of which have been vandalized, some of which are 100 years old, and probably some of them even older than that. We've got some Civil War kinds of headstones here that are in need of repair. I think it's incumbent upon us as good stewards of these operations in order to make sure that these cemeteries look decent. And I would propose that we make an adjustment to that amount of money to up it, to see if we can get somebody in here
Right,
to.
so I will add to your comments on that. Again, another whole bunch of work to do. Yes, we're aware of it.
Is that one
Lots
of
of
them?
things to do. I quoted out, I got one fencing quote to do just Powell, because it's a cyclone fence on one side, which is damaged. The other is farm fencing. Over $50,000 to put the same type of fencing that's over there at 29 Mile Road, just for that one location. We met with a local person, not someone who was out of state, that had done work. The out-of-state person did work, I want to say it was 2008, somewhere around there, doing some of the restoration work. This local person and I went through every single one. Again, he's local, but he's doing like 35 other municipalities in southeast Michigan, or maybe even farther than southeast Michigan, working on their cemeteries. He just sent me a quote. It was somewhere around $35,000 to fix and clean every one of those ones that are broken, dirty, deteriorating, just at the one where we've had the most complaints about, which most is two.
Well, if you walk them,
There's,
there's quite a bit.
and he
If we did
can't
a
be
few
there
each year.
continually, so we
Oh,
could
yeah.
do 5,000 one year, but that doesn't touch all the rest of them. That's just that one cemetery.
Are we
Well, maybe-
responsible for all 7 cemeteries? Or
Yes.
some of them private?
No, well, there is, the Cannon Cemetery is not technically one that we're responsible for. The one at 26 and Mount, there's 2 cemeteries there.
Okay.
The
think
Cannon
there's 7 of
family
them.
manages and runs
7.
that one, but we manage all the other ones. So a lot of it is, the only ones that are still open is the Powell and Mount Vernon. Those are 2, has vacancies and availabilities for people to purchase. The other ones are all closed down. It's just a matter of cutting the grass, putting up Civil War monuments and flags during Memorial Day, doing cleanup. Again, we put a bin out there to do the cleanup in there. So yeah, I don't know where that dollar number is to actually get us, again, even if it's over a 5-year period, it could be $100,000 to $200,000
We could.
every year.
Yeah.
And again, I only know of 2 people that do this cemetery stuff. One would have to pay from, come from Illinois, house them here to do the work that they're going to do, pay for their mileage. And yeah, no. And again, this other gentleman that's local, lives over in
Business opportunity.
Thomas Township area.
You know, Gary, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And that's exactly how he got into this business. The local guy, that's how he did it. He went out
quit.
west,
I'm going
out
to
east, and he did
cemeteries.
that.
Now think about it. We got a deaf community here that's not making any money. They're living off of welfare and everything else.
Why
They're in
not?
poverty.
Yep.
Why can't we
Yeah.
help them build a business here?
Yep.
And then they take over managing all of this. We have some opportunity here if we use it.
I
Yep.
agree.
But again, we have to budget for it, and then again, this gentleman is willing to have us have WBRW tape and show and work with us, and volunteers can come during that time, but they got to learn to do it the right way. It's not like they're using acid and power washer sprayers. They have to be, some of that material is very soft, so you can't go at it with, gusto. You
Right.
got to be very sensitive in doing it.
Very porous.
Yeah, so.
Yep.
Again,
Well, what
I
I
was
would-
thoroughly impressed with him here. He spoke to my staff for about an hour and a half, and then him and I went through every single monument over there, took photographs of it, came back with a list, every single photograph. This needs to be done to this one, this needs to be done, and gave me a price list on each one of those monuments. But he said, I can't get this done in this year. This is just too big of an undertaking. So,
Well, what I would propose then is that we pick a cemetery of the year then, and work on one cemetery, and let's get it done. I mean, I think there's 7 of them
Is it
in the
divided in
township.
sections of cemetery or no? I mean, if it's
that
like a section.
particular one, again, I told them to work from front to back because everyone sees the front, so they don't know what's going on in the back, but, you know.
Feel bad for the back.
Well, again, that one primarily is, yes,
Yeah.
there are still family members that come. That's where the civil, Daughters of the Civil War did that presentation of. So there are some still family members that come and visit that one. I don't know, again, because of the location of the one at 26th Mountain, if anyone even visits that anymore.
I don't
No
think that's the
parking there.
point, though. The point is.
No,
that we're
they got to be
responsible
taken care of. And again, it's been years and years and years of
What about
stuff.
like when the DPW digs it, do they need a better,
So they use their backhoe. They, again, through the learning process and taking it over there, DPW workers have built a cage because a lot of the soil there is sand. So to prevent anyone from being harmed or collapsing, they put the cage in, then the vault gets installed and burial happens, and then it gets removed, then the dirt goes in.
Isn't the plot owner responsible for their upkeep?
No, we are.
You're only $300? Wow.
Yep.
you want to move to Washington
I
now?
put a name on one of yours?
You guys maintain it forever for $300?
Yep. State made it our responsibility.
That's the way it works.
Is there a perpetual fund for money that, because usually like a cemetery start, you know, people buy the plots, and then they keep the money, and then that's how they pay for the maintenance? Is that how it's done here, or is it just out of the general fund?
We have our own budget for it, but the monies don't go directly every time we sell a plot to the cemetery fund. Is that correct, Heidi? Funds go back to the general fund, we just have a balance.
Okay, so there's no perpetual fund for maintenance? That's what-
No, and again, this gentleman had ideas of doing fundraisers and things of that nature. Other communities have done it, so maybe that's a fundraiser event that we could do to adopt a stone to be fixed or whatever, that helps supplement some of those things. I don't know how active it might be, or maybe it won't be very well taken at all, but there are opportunities that he says that other communities have done, and it's helped supplement.
It's just some people may buy like a dozen plots and then they turn around and sell them for more.
Or they could, yeah.
Really?
That's
have
the
nothing
part,
that
that's the part
stops
I don't like. It's
Oh,
one thing if
anyway.
you're buying it, you live here, I get
Yeah,
it,
yeah. To live there, yeah,
but
forever.
I'm giving away the secret right now, I guess, but yeah. That's why I'm bringing it.
It could be your investment
not good.
fund.
Tomorrow I see an upkick in
Yeah.
plot sales, but.
Yeah, we should change.
But no, I agree with you, Gary, that there needs to be more attention to it. Again, it's finding the resources, time and everything to manage it and get it there. So, and once we get our budget passed, I will be calling that gentleman, telling him, yes, we're going to start on that particular one because that was the one the most called out.
Right, I agree. Yep.
I don't know if any of the department had anything to say or what anything in their department,
Rich, you got your mask off. It looks like you
or
have
anybody in the
something
audience. or-
Hey, we help you out as much as we can.
to say. Yep, they do.
Yeah.
The guys have been great on doing that.
I mean, price-wise, too.
He doesn't do it for free.
Should. All I do for him.
Any questions from, I don't know, audience or anybody? Or-
So then you mentioned that we're going to get the detail, and we can go, let's say, in twos or threes, and then go over it, and then get back, and maybe make recommendations?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
No, yeah, I don't.
Yep.
Because I know I sent you,
I'm saying maybe for time, maybe we'll do 2 with Stan, 2 with me or something.
Yeah, whatever.
because I sent you like a letter, and you responded pretty good, and you answered most of my questions.
No, that's fine.
I just disagreed with one, but that's not too bad for 13, right?
Yeah.
Okay, is there timing on getting this? Any idea about when we can expect it?
No, so like the next week, I just want to get Stan and Mike Nicely. They're pretty up to speed. There's just a few they got to look at, but I'm thinking after next week sometime you'll get it, or if you guys want to come in, but I'll send it to you ahead of
Yeah,
time.
I would rather have it ahead of time, that way we.
I'll send you guys this too, of course.
Yep.
You guys can think about
And
it.
I'll look at modifying what I know as to what costs are and put that in the budget. Again, if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't. But at least I can roll those in there as to
Right.
numbers that are potentially going to affect the budget if we get to it.
When,
Yep.
I mean, well, you probably know, but as you get into the the weeds of it, I call, but you'll see some things have been carried on for several years. It's just, it's either a timing thing or whatever, but keep trying to get it done.
At what point would we be, let's say, discussing it at a meeting where we're going to decide, like each department?
I mean, in the past, it's always been the first meeting of March, we do the formal, and then the second meeting, we vote on it, but I'd actually like to start the process, well, if we can get it done sooner, get it done sooner, but,
Yeah, that would be fine, too.
I mean, either way, it's April 1st a year, but. And then the amendments, we don't have to necessarily wait till March 31st, we could do it the 27th, 28th, whatever date we work on.
When are the amendments supposed to be done by law?
By the 31st.
Of March, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know last year we went to like April 14th or something like that.
Yeah, we got away with it because Siebert said because of COVID, we were allowed that leniency, but
Not this year.
COVID's gone. It's gone, apparently. Well, not, I guess township-wise, it's, but,
Speaking of COVID, did we ever get any clarity on those ARPA funds in terms of what we could use the money for?
oh, we're gonna get that presentation.
Oh, good, we got an answer.
I gotta go.
Or hiding
and
it.
see.
When is, Pat Moran's gonna come here and do a presentation on ARPA?
I can't remember which date it was. I don't think it's next week. I think it was the other, yeah.
The 16th, so they'll be here to discuss that, and that too, originally, it was just strictly water and sewer, now it's basically,
Anything
We've opened it up,
governmental that we
basically.
spend money on is okay to spend money on.
except for the fire department.
So that'll be at the meeting on the
I'm
2nd?
joking, I'm sorry.
So that'll be at the meeting on the 2nd?
No, the 16th. 16th.
That's when Plant Moran's gonna come in again, give their
Explain.
explanation of how the funds need to be done and handled. But from what we've watched on the webinars multiple times, it's open to everything. Rob had an inside line to it, Mr. Schmelzer over there. He had an inside line. He knew all along that it was gonna be open to everything, but
He's got his.
no one
earmark.
else knew it.
He lobbied in Lansing and he got it. Or no, I should say Washington DC, not Lansing.
Yeah.
Right.
Which again, it just creates more problems because everyone wants their hand in it, and there's $2.8 million, that's all there is, sounds like a lot, but when you've got all the different funds and projects
That's
that
what we're
we've got
afraid
going
of.
on.
Now you're gonna have all these townships and cities paving roads, and all the pavers are gonna drive up the
Yeah,
price, you know.
that's a
So,
business
Yep.
we'll see how that goes.
So maybe we'll just be fixing cemeteries.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Phyllis, can you come up to the microphone, because you've got your TV station running?
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood the discussion. Somebody asked about the line item, but the actual line item budget that shows each, Gary, okay, each department or each cost line item. And did I hear you say correctly that that does not go out to everybody as normal course of business? Only if they ask for it?
Nope.
Is that what I said?
That's true.
What I heard?
I think that's true.
So each of you as board members do not get the entire budget line item?
I don't
That's
think
why
in
we
the past we
requested it.
have.
Yeah, that's why we asked for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but, okay. I don't care about all that. Every single board member, by law, has a fiduciary responsibility to this township. Every single board member needs to have a copy of that budget in their hands, in my opinion. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
no, thank you. No, I'm fine, I've said we would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the board members do receive budget information. What Gary was asking was for more detail. They do receive the information they're supposed to with the, they do get what they're supposed to get along with fiduciary duties. I can understand asking for more detail, but it's not like they weren't provided with what they needed in the past.
We actually get the deal, the detail for fire department, also for building.
Yeah, you'll get them all.
But not the other funds,
Oh,
monthly.
okay, whatever happened before me is different. I'm saying, we're an open book. You want to look, we'll send everything, it's fine. I don't have an issue. And,
Just when we
so,
vote on it, that makes-
maybe give us one more week, though. We should firm up the numbers within the week, I think.
So I know we're not specifically talking numbers today, but
No, you
one
can.
just really jumps out. Fringe benefits and insurance from 2020 to 2021, all the way up to 23 to 24, is going up a crazy amount, from 495,000 up to 904,000. Do you have just a quick explanation for that?
We review, basically, it's personnel increase, right? That's what,
Heidi's going to address it.
oh, sorry.
Part of it is personnel, but the other part is just an estimate for the change in the healthcare costs, and we don't actually know what they are for sure. So what we have kind of done in the past was estimated a 10% increase, just to be on the safe side, so that we wouldn't be too low. Some years, the costs have actually decreased, and other years, they increase, and overall, we just take into account 10% just to make sure that we're not too low, that we've got enough in the budget to cover a potential increase. So if that makes sense, it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to go up that much. We were told this year the current rates went up about
I think it was 7.
6 point,
Yeah.
I was
Almost
going to say 6.9 or something like that. So close to 7. It's potentially could be less next year, could be more. So just to be safe, we do 10.
This is just under double. So it's
Yeah.
going up from 495 to 854.
I could review that number too, just to make sure that it's accurate, like as far as number of
Prior year
people.
actual was 495, and then the approved budget went down to 161, and now we're going back up to 854. So that's what, and then
You're
the
looking at the total.
following year was 904, so.
Is that the grand total? Or which,
That requested 4 each year.
It's the
I mean, are you in the general fund or which one?
I'm in the expenditures,
For which fund?
fringe
The front-
benefits
the
and
front page
insurance.
of
on the general
the
fund,
general
yes.
fund. Yep.
Okay.
So that's why she's saying that one sticks way out.
I could take a look at it because I know there were some changes that were made from draft 1 to draft 2 already. So,
Well, the one we have is from November 17th. That's what that's what we have to work
yeah,
at.
I know there's been some changes since then that have decreased some of the budgets, just some things that I've found that were not 100% accurate or whatever. So there've been some changes since that draft 1, but I can definitely take a look at that.
Can we get an updated copy of that then, Sam?
Yeah.
Thank you. So we can get that this week
I mean,
and maybe start
we
looking at
we
this?
close November, so we should be closing December in a few days. Yeah.
I'm just
Nothing
glad the
else? Oh.
furnace finally went off so I can hear clear.
Yeah, we can all hear now, finally.
Okay, I guess if that's it.
Don't we have all our people behind us? Maybe anybody wants, if they want to say something?
I asked them 10 minutes ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Rich was the only one that,
Rich is the local.
my trunk, so.
I'm going to go help Rich.
But, okay.
good. Good night.
There's no public comment?
Stan needs, what do you need, poll workers or?
Oh, yeah.
Might as well announce it.
Yeah.
One of the things, just as a parting comment, we've talked about the sidewalk budget. You know how much I love to talk about sidewalks. But we're talking about $1 million a year, and I don't really see a line item in the budget that says sidewalks, $1 million. Is it hidden in here someplace that I just can't find it?
I know we have it in 3
Specifically
spots, yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Heidi can.
I'm sure it must be there, but I know we're spending the money, but
There's actually 3 different places we have sidewalks. One is the sidewalk fund, one is the capital projects, and the other one is lost from my mind at this moment. But I could look and tell you exactly where that is, but I
Yeah.
think the million is in the sidewalk fund.
We're projecting $1 million for the next 5 years, so someplace along the line, that money's got to materialize.
Yeah.
So,
And
I
that's
just don't
been
know
for
where
the
it is in
last
here.
3 or 4 years that that same thing has been
Yeah, it's been.
proposed. This is
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. So,
We do have an actual sidewalk fund, but that's for what we,
The repairs.
municipal, yeah, for the,
So are you talking about the new
yeah, we're talking about that GAP program.
yeah,
Oh.
there's a
That capital
75,000.
improvement project.
capital improvements then?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can explain maybe where it comes out, does it come out of general fund, does it come out of bond, where's it coming from?
Sure thing.
Heidi, do you have a separate bond, whoops, over here.
Sorry.
Do you have a separate, like a fund or a budget for the bond money?
We have a spreadsheet for the bond money, yes. But are you asking if it's a separate fund? Is that what you
One,
said?
not, well, I guess it could be a fund, but at least a budget item, because there's four different categories. Just like for the fire building, road improvements, the building, and water and sewer. Do you have separate items for those or not?
Well, the fire and ambulance money was used up, that was set aside for the bond, or from the bond money with the new station. So now it's general fund, capital projects, and DPW is to use the remaining money up. And I do have a separate spreadsheet for tracking purposes.
Because I understood, I think Sam said that it would be transferred like into the bond money. So you don't have a separate line items for those four then, do you?
You mean within the budget, is it showing like bond money related to the different projects?
Looking for
Is that-
restricted funds and versus the bond, is that what you're asking?
Well, not restricted funds per se, but a separate budget. Because they're all broken out by $1 million, like four different line items. Building, like I said, the four.
So like, for example, some of the money, like Sam had on this presentation, was $700,000 for the remodel at the Township Hall. So that is in the building maintenance budget, the $700,000. Is that what you mean? Am I understanding your question correctly?
Don't you think it should be separate? Because when auditors come in, well, they're going to have to go through it and try to find it.
They were good with us doing it that way. In fact, we talked to them in great depth when we started the bond in 2019 to make sure that we were going to do it properly and account for it properly. And they said that the way we were going to do it, that we projected, was correct.
Okay, because it's kind of harder to keep track how much you spend if it's always in different categories.
Well, we do have separate, like I said, a separate spreadsheet for bond money tracking purposes as well. So there's a couple of different things going on that we track the total money of the bond and how it's being spent and where it's budgeted. So there's a few different things going on with regard to the bond money. It's being tracked very carefully, I assure you that.
So you're doing like a spreadsheet then?
Correct.
Okay, you answered my question, thanks.
Okay, sure.
To answer the bond, the remaining funds, the interior road, is 3.7. That'll be used. We're using the 700,050 for West Road for that. The construction in here was 700, and then the water loop along Powell, and that should be all fully spent this year, so it'll be,
Okay.
or at least all your
And
mark.
again, you'll get the
Depending on the
update. The
construction.
ARPA money will be additional monies, and again, the timeframe, was it 2026? Is that when we had to fully expend it? Do you remember, Heidi or Eric?
25 or 26?
What's that? ARPA,
Yeah,
money.
ARPA.
Yeah, the ARPA money is, it's like 2026 we have to spend it to, so it's not like it's got to be spent tomorrow either. So you'll get an update from Plan Moran on all that detail as well. And that'll be tracked just like the bond money we're doing now, so. The only thing that we have to look at is we might have a single audit on that ARPA money because it's federal money. And it was a threshold 750 in 1 year in expenditures. So that could cause, again, the audit and more expenses to us to have that done.
Sam, after this meeting and before we leave, I'd like, if we could kind of set up the schedule as to when 2 and 2, so that we can do, you know, as you suggested,
Yeah.
and look at everything, and that way there we can get it on our calendars and make sure that it works for the 2 and 2, however they're going to do it.
Yeah,
All right? Thank you.
yeah, that's good. Nothing else? Okay. I guess I'll close the workshop. Okay. I want to do an early birthday wish to Rob Schmelzer out there. Embarrassed.
He looks good for 80. He really does. He looks
The
good for 80.
shyest guy in the room.
Not a day over 80.
You look good for 85. Really.
Happy birthday, Rob.
Okay, for those of you watching at home, thank you and have a good night.
Thank you.